What's going on YouTube? It's Mid-40s Gamer here, coming at you with some more God of War content. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to grab all the collectibles in the Barrens so you don't get lost in the sand like a cherry lieutenant on a land nav course. There are 18 collectibles nested within this area, and one in particular will have to wait until you complete the main story arc. So let's get ready to clean the moon dust off our weapons, tell Odin that he drinks from a camelback full of lies, and get after it. Our story begins in the lands of ALFHEIM, and we'll be starting this rotation high up in the north of the Barrens, which at this point is still covered in a thick dust storm. Perched on a branch up against the zone wall will be our first catch of the day, which is the first of 2 Odin's ravens in this particular area. Our next stop will be just a 9 iron away along the zone wall, and this area in particular houses 3 collectibles that can be easily snatched up once you clear the area of a few pesky dark elves. After hopping up into the area, there is a regular chest on your right, which doesn't count as a collectible. However, it does yield some hack silver, and let's be honest, who doesn't like money? After turning a few dark elves into an earthworm playground, the first 2 collectibles will be off to your right and just about impossible to miss. The first is a lore marker outlining the tower's purpose, and the second is an artifact of historical renown, which was a horn that was made as a tribute to Freyr. You'll need a total of 6 of these tributes throughout the game in order to complete the set. Once we drop the horn in our dump pouch of holding, we'll head across the way where we'll be able to check another 2 boxes off our list. Out in the open on the ground to your right will be another lore scroll, and this one is of some importance, which can be used to craft equipable relics. There are 4 lost pages in total across the realms, all of which are worth picking up. Our last collectible in this area will be the Gauntlets of Radiance, which are housed in this legendary chest. These gauntlets are rather unique due to a passive ability they grant called Realm Shift, which slows down enemies for a few seconds if you manage to pull off a last-second evade. The next area is a rather prominent one, and as you can see from the map footage, as we zoom out to a 30,000 foot view, we'll be searching through the remains of a large beast which looks like it's been here for quite some time. The first collectible in this area is part of a treasure hunt called Vulture's Gold, which is one of the first ones you can discover during your playthrough, and by far the easiest one to find. The actual treasure map is found in the canyons, which is accessible after visiting the Temple of Light with Tyr. The map can be found in plain view next to a body. Once you have the map in hand, you can dig up the treasure in this area to seal the deal and check this box. From here, we'll turn around and grapple our way up to the ledge where we'll be preparing to unalive another one of Odin's prize ravens, which is the second and final one in this area. You'll clearly see it perched on a hollow eye socket of the skull, and all that's left to do from here is powder up our axe and pimp slap this obnoxiously loud green bird from existence. There are 48 in total scattered across the 9 realms, and collecting them will allow you to open a series of chests in the realm of Niflheim. As we continue into the belly of the beast to clear out some rather unwanted guests in order to grab up a few more collectibles, if you're finding any of this information useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any new Mid-40s gamer content. And if you aren't too busy wondering why the Guinness Book of World Records was created to settle bar arguments, leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know how we're doing. After turning a few frogmen into fertilizer, we can move over and take a look at the nearby lore marker, the Desert of Our Ignorance, which is just one of 3 collectibles in the immediate area. The next 2 can be located just past the marker up the cliff face, where you can scale using a conveniently placed crack in the rock wall. Once up top, you'll immediately see the first collectible on the ground to your right, which just so happens to be one of Kvasir's poems, The Celestial Construct. After stuffing a rather large book into a small pouch, we'll head over to the legendary chest that's staring us in the face. After popping the top off this gold chest, we'll recover the Belt of Radiance, which is a tier 4 piece of armor and yet another one of the 3 items in the set. In addition to the Realm Shift ability, it has pretty good stats, so grabbing it early may be in your best interest. The next stop on this magical mystery tour will be the Secret of the Sands quest, which can be started right out of the gate if it blows your skirt up, and it's the first true side quest you'll be introduced to in your playthrough. This particular quest aligns with the beast Atreus says he hears, and it's a major side quest in the region. After climbing down into this cave, you can continue on into the Below, which is an underground area that the Dark Elves in the region have been using as a refuge. The area is fairly linear, and in the sake of not spoiling your first side quest, we aren't going to cover this entire quest. There are a few hive bulb puzzles you'll have to contend with, and while some may not be easy, they aren't rocket science either. It isn't a very long quest, but it will give you an idea as to what to expect from future side quests. Once the quest is complete in the below, you can hop back up top, freeze some hive matter, free the trapped beast, and move on to the next collectible, which, as you can see from the map footage, will be in the southeast corner of the Barrens. This particular collectible will be a lore marker called Gulan Call, which happens to be written by the Maven, who's the light elf guardian of the Elven Sanctum, and an optional boss who's protecting the hidden library. The marker outlines letting dark elves remain in the area so that they can be used for some sort of experimentation. The next area we'll be visiting is to the southeast, and as you can see from the map footage, it can be discovered as soon as you exit the canyon path into the Barrens. This area is marked by some half-moon-shaped masonry set into the rock face, and it's easily recognizable by the white markings on either side of the opening. Once through the opening, you should see a purple glow on the ground to your right, and this particular collectible is another artifact in tribute to Freyr. After walking over and picking up Freyr's harp, there's a rather annoying hive bulb puzzle you'll need to figure out before getting your hands on the next collectible. As you can see from the game footage, this hive bulb puzzle revolves around skillfully bouncing your axe off the Twilight Stone plate and then recalling it in time to break the last bulb. Once you're in the right spot to meet all of these conditions, you can walk over and plunder yet another legendary chest. This chest in particular houses the Rod of Affliction, which is a shield attachment that's quite useful depending on what build you're rolling with. As we pop back over to the map footage, we'll head over to an area previously blocked by a buildup of sand from the sandstorm. With the storm cleared after completing the Secret of the Sand side quest, you'll notice that it's revealed the ledge leading to the one and only Draugr hole in this area. Draugr holes are tied to a specific favor called Born from Fire, which requires sealing these holes scattered through the realms. Completing the Born from Fire favor rewards 6 Chaos Sparks, which will eventually combine into 1 Chaos Flame so you can level up your blade. To find all 6 of these Draugr holes, you'll need to have access to quite a few different realms. After defeating all the Draugr and sealing the hole, we'll do a quick map check and zero you in on the Nornir chest for this area, which will require you to use whatever mental power you can muster after soaking your brain in Bang energy drinks and Twizzlers. The first torch can be found rather easily, however the next one will require a short jog. For those of you who may not know, these chests can be found throughout the realms, and collecting all of them is a monumental task. Nornir chests are rather inventive environmental puzzles which were placed in the realms by the Fates to hide rare and powerful treasures from the unworthy. You can find the next torch just around the back of the monument sitting atop the sand-covered rocks, and while it may take you a few seconds to find the right angle, it's possible to light it from the ground up. The third and final torch is rather deviously hidden on top of the monument and can be activated by throwing your axe to detonate a fire pot that's resting nearby. After adjusting fire and successively bracketing our target, we'll break the final seal and unlock the chest. Within this chest, you can pick up a Horn of Bloodmead, which will increase your maximum rage after collecting a set of 3. Another piece of information revolving around these chests is that it's important to note that aside from the Horns of Bloodmead, the other treasure that can be discovered in these chests throughout the realms are Inden apples, which will increase your maximum health. The next collectible we'll be taking a look at is the Remnant of Asgard, which is yet another side quest and one that's only available after delivering an epic beating to Odin and finishing the main story arc. After waging a rather definitive war on Asgard, some remnants of the kingdom will be scattered throughout the 9 realms. There are 10 remnants in total, and this one can be easily reached with the dog sled. It is important to note that this camp will consist of a mini boss fight against 2 rather large Asgardian warriors, but by this point you'll have finished the game, so this fight may or may not be a heavy lift for you depending on what type of gear you've collected up until this point. After express mailing a Warhammer directly to the enemy's nasal cavity and delivering him into a forever box, we'll collect up all the fancy loot that's dropped along with the Remnant of Asgard. Once you pick up your very first remnant, you'll be officially tasked with this favor and be able to track it in your journal. These areas are rather easy to pick out since they often appear as damaged or ruined structures that are coated in luminescent Bifrost energy. The final and most fun collectible that will test a bit of your button mashing skills is the Berserker gravestone, which, as you can see from the map footage, is just about 100 meters to the northeast of the Remnant of Asgard. Much like the Valkyrie battles in the 2018 God of War release, these Berserker boss battles are fairly tough optional fights that have replaced the Valkyrie threat and will likely take a few or 100 attempts to beat, but who's counting? This particular Berserker battle is fought against Viftigr the Cold and the Sisters of Ilska. The odds here are quite frankly stacked against you, however nothing is impossible, and as long as you don't throw a controller after your first attempt, you're golden. Your best bet is to start by chopping away at the Sisters, who are fairly weak, and the fact that their health bar is tethered is equivalent to killing 2 birds with 1 beheading. After some heads roll, you can turn all your attention to the Berserker, who has a few elemental attacks of his own. One attack to be wary of is the ground slam, which is a high damage attack but can be avoided long enough to separate yet another head from a set of shoulders. Well folks, it looks like we're coming to the end of another God of War video as we count all the souls that we've taken along the way. We would like to take this time to personally thank you for watching, and if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any new mid-40s gamer content. And if you aren't too busy wondering why elephants can hear with their feet, leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know how we're doing. So until next time, just remember, the shortest commercial flight in the world lasts just 57 seconds, Jack Black's parents were both rocket scientists, and as always, good hunting.